If you want to create your own database in MySQL, this video is for you, and I'll also teach you how to use your database and how to write SQL queries and input data to your database. So to get started, there's just two things that we need. First of all, we need a MySQL Workbench. This is optional if you have another database editor, but basically this is just used for editing a database or accessing our MySQL database. The second thing that we need is MySQL Server. This basically just installs a database on our computer, right? So we actually need both of these things. So make sure that you download both of these things. Now, when you click download, it might redirect you to something like this. Do not click login or sign up. There is a link right here. No thank you, just start my download. Make sure that you press this button, which basically just bypasses the login. Unless you really want to, then yeah, go ahead, create an account. But I'm telling you, you don't need an account. You can just click here for both of these downloads, and this will basically bypass the login. Right, so once you have both of these files, so you should have a Workbench and a Community Edition MySQL installer. Click Workbench. The installation of the Workbench is very simple. You just need to click Run, right? Next, and install, and that is it, right? Give it permissions. The installer of the server is a bit more complicated, so I'm going to show you how to do that as well in a second. Right, as you can see, the Workbench has been installed. You can just basically close it for now. We don't really need it. Okay, now we're going to install the database server, right? So if you double click MySQL installer, press run, give it permissions, and basically here is where we need to select some stuff. First of all, go to MySQL servers, MySQL server, drop down all the menus and click the latest version, right? Unless you really need another version, I would recommend the latest one. Go to next, execute, next. Now, as you can see here, it says stuff like development computer and it says ports. This is the basically networking part, and I do not recommend changing anything here. The way you see the page is probably the best, so just basically click next. Click next. And here is where you need to set your password. Obviously, unless you're doing this in a production environment, you can just set anything. In this case, I'm just going to set it to administrator, right? Just something simple. Make sure that you obviously save this password or remember it, as you will need it to log into your database. As you can see, I made a mistake already. Anyways, make sure that you save this somewhere, right? Obviously keep it simple, like I said, unless you're doing this or planning to expose this to the world. Click next. And basically here, if you want your database to start up on the system startup, then either leave this checked or unchecked. That is completely up to you. Click next, execute, and this is basically our database installed as soon as this installer finishes. Okay, as you can see, the configuration of MySQL server was successful, which means our database is basically installed. Now, to access your database, you just need to type in Workbench, right? This is how we're going to access our database. And as you can see, the actual connection is showing up. Root localhost 3306. You should recognize the port 3306. Click this, and it's going to ask you for a password. Now, it is completely up to you if you want to save the password into a vault. That is completely up to you. I'm going to put my password in, so you should obviously put the password that you have set it on the installation. As you can see, what you'll get is you'll get something like this. Now, you might actually be on the administration. That is okay. Just come to the bottom and it says administration and schemas. Click schemas. So there is already one database. This is the system. So actually don't delete this. Don't try to edit it or anything. This is the basically default database that is used for the system to work. Right, so if you're on schemas, right, if you actually come to the left corner of the screen, you should get a home button, right? Under it, there it says create a new SQL tab for executing queries. If you actually click this, it should allow you to write SQL. So let's actually create a database. So if you type in create database, and then if you write the name of your database, in this case, I'm just going to call it DB, and make sure that you put a semicolon at the end of your query. Then if you press this button, which says execute, and if you actually come to the left corner, as you can see, there is nothing here. There should be a database, but it doesn't appear. What you have to do is you need to refresh it. And as you can see, it appears, right? Boom. Now, if you have made a mistake and you actually don't like your database, what you can do is you can say drop database and basically the name of your database. And as you can see, the database has been deleted. Obviously, remember that once you send the query, it does not go back. You cannot basically just say undo, right? It does not work like this. So let's create our database again, right? So DB, as you can see, our database is back. Now, as you can see, my database, right? So the DB is our database. As you can see, there's no tables. Tables are basically drawers or tables in this example, but you can call it whatever you want, basically where user data is stored, right? So you might have a drawer like addresses, for example, users, admin users, and stuff like that, right? So it's like drawers of informations that are separated. So in this case, if you paste this query, which will be available in the description down below on my website, if you actually paste this query, as you can see, after refreshing, we get a table called users. Another table could be called, like I said, addresses, or basically maybe financial data, or maybe employees, stuff like that. You get the idea, right? Basically now we have an empty table called users, right? So if you actually drop it down, as you can see in columns, we get user ID, username, and addresses. These are called columns. Now our table is actually empty. There's nothing there. So what we can actually do is we can add stuff into our table. So if you write insert into users, right? So name your table, users. And then basically if you just insert columns, right? So columns are basically, as you can see here. So let's do user ID, right? User ID, username, and address, right? Then if you close it, and then if you basically write values, right? And then basically here this is where you insert values. So let's do 1, right? So my user ID is going to be 1. My username is going to be admin. And obviously remember to separate everything with a comma, right? Because comma is basically saying, okay, this is another value, or right? You cannot do it in ones without using commas. And then, for example, let's put London Road, right? London Road. Now, obviously, remember that every string has to be in double quotation marks or just in quotation marks. And then don't forget a semicolon. Every single query in SQL has to finish with a semicolon. As you can see, I have a semicolon here and a semicolon here. Now, if I execute it and I refresh it, now you can't actually view any of the data, right? If I double click it, it doesn't really show me anything, right? Even if I try here, it doesn't allow me to see the data. What you need to do, there is actually 2 ways to do this. If you hover over the users and you select rows, as you can see, it actually displays the whole database, right? Or the whole table, admin, London Road 1, right? But what you can actually do is you can actually also write your own query, right? So if you use DB, you don't actually have to write this, but I like to write this. So if you write select, and let's actually try different columns, right? You don't actually have to request whole data. You can actually do, for example, user ID and address, right? Or let's actually do maybe username. Let me change this, username, and you need to say from users, right? And then if you actually request this, as you can see, it says admin lives at this address, right? So a simple SQL query, right? And that'll be it for this video. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. I'll help you as soon as possible. And also don't forget to check out my website where I post a lot of IT information, coding tutorials, and much more, which is absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything. Thank you for watching and peace.